Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be making some Arabesque Christmas ornaments to go on the tree. They're really easy to make and we're going to be using Cricut branded chipboard to make these ornaments. It is the heavy chipboard here. So you're going to need this. This is the 5-sheet pack. If you want to do this project, you're going to need a Cricut maker. So either a original maker like mine or a maker 3 is what you'll need for this, because it does use the knife blade to cut through this chipboard. So you can't do it on a Joy or an Explore series. So this is the little ornament that we're going to be making. It is an arabesque ornament and that refers to the shape of it. You can buy blanks in this shape online, but it's easy enough to cut it out yourself with the chipboard. It's blending in with my shirt nicely. So you can cut these out really easily, and we're going to use vinyl and we're going to paint it to make it look really cute. You can also accessorize with anything else that you might like, glitter or little stick-on diamonds and stuff like that. So we're going to show you now how to make this. We're going to go through the process from start to finish. So let's get started. So let's just really quickly run through the materials that you'll need to create this project yourself at home. You're going to need a couple of machine mats today. You're going to need either a light grip or a standard grip. I'm using this light grip one because it's pretty new, so it's still quite sticky. So that's one of the mats that you will need. When you're working with chipboard, you need a strong grip mat. So that is the purple Cricut mat. You will need one of these. And when you are using chipboard, you also need to use some masking tape. So you're going to need to hold your actual piece of chipboard down to your mat with masking tape. So masking tape and a strong grip mat. You need the actual chipboard itself. This is the Cricut branded one. I prefer to use this because I know it's going to cut well. It's really good quality material and the knife blade goes through it really nicely. So this is the 5-sheet pack. I am, as I've just said, using the knife blade today. So this is the knife blade. It comes in its own permanent housing with a little plastic protector over the blade because it's really sharp. So I'm using that one. I'm also using today a fine point blade. This is for cutting the vinyl design on my ornament. I've just got some basic tools today as well that you might want. So I've got my weeding tool. I've got a pin pen weeding tool, which is nice and sharp on the top there. I've got my brayer, which I use for everything. A craft knife you're going to want. And I've got some scissors. You are going to need a paintbrush and some paint. I'm just using basic acrylic. This is just like Poundland paint, or was it Poundland or was it B&M? Doesn't really matter. One of those places, really cheap. Cheap brush as well to go with it. Squeegee. Little piece of cord trim to go on our ornament once it's cut out. I am also using Mod Podge today just to cover over the matte finish of the acrylic on the chipboard because I like a shinier finish, especially for a Christmas ornament. So this is the dishwasher safe one. I use this all the time. You've probably seen me use it in other projects. I'm going to need to buy a new one soon, so I probably won't get dishwasher safe again, but I like gloss. And then I've got a couple of pieces of scrap vinyl that I'm going to use for my design. So we're going to need some transfer tape to go along with that. This is just cheap contact paper, like book covering, again from one of the pound shops, Home Bargains type places. Really easy to come by, super cheap. So that's what we're going to need, and I think that's it. Okay, so let's get our mat set up ready to cut out our chipboard. So this is the 5-sheet pack of chipboard, and as you can see I've already got it open because I have made another one before. So I'm going to use up this piece of chipboard just to finish it off. So let's just take the cover off the mat. I'm just going to try and get rid of any debris that is on my mat, and that is going to be from other wooden projects. This one here cut quite nicely, but it did leave quite a lot of debris on my mat, so I just need to make sure that I've got rid of as much of that as I can. So let's pop this on there. Just going to line it up with the little lines in the centimetres corner of my mat. Just going to pop that down. give it a good old press. And then I'm going to get my masking tape and I'm going to mask along each side of my chipboard. Alright, so here we are in Cricut Design Space. This is the home screen now and what it looks like as of Friday. There was a big update to Cricut Design Space this week, so if you haven't seen my video on that, I will link it above and down below for you to have a look at. There's quite a lot of new features, so it might be worth having a little look at that just so that you are up to date with everything that you can now do in Cricut Design Space. But today, of course, we're making these Christmas ornaments, so I'm going to show you the image that I'm using and I'm going to show you how to find my profile, because that will be on my profile once I've finished this and got the video up and it's ready for you guys to actually watch the video on YouTube. My profile page will then contain this arabesque ornament information and what I used for my project in particular. So what I'm going to do is show you now how to find my profile. So on the home page now, if you just go up into this new search bar that they've put on here and just search for me, Gemma Rich, and then press enter. So you'll get lots of different results come up, but what you want to do is go down to the bottom and you're going to see community members come up, and there'll be everybody that's got a combination of Gemma and Rich in their name. So I am this one here. I'm going to try and change my picture back because I did have a picture of me to match my profile picture on YouTube here, but it's disappeared since the update. So if you just click on me, and you'll see, if you can't figure out whether it's me or not, you'll see these particular projects on here. So of course it's not on here yet because I haven't made it public just yet because I'm still tweaking it a little bit, but these are all the projects from previous videos that I've made and you can use any of these. Some of them do have chargeable items in them, but usually I try to keep them under the £1 mark, so they're not going to cost you very much, and a lot of them do just use basic shapes, and if you want to make your own it would be really easy for you to duplicate what I've done. So that is how to find my profile. So let's just go back to the home page now. And I'm going to go into my project and show you the image that I'm using today. Okay, so on my screen it's this one here. So if I just click on there, it's going to show us the actual image that I'm using from Cricut Design Space Images. And this one I think is 89p. This is the image code at the bottom here. So if you want to use the same image that I've got, you are more than welcome to jot that down right now. I'll give you a couple of seconds to do that before I move on. So I'm just going to go now on to customize. Okay, so that image is now on my screen. So the first thing we need to do really is resize to the size that we want our actual ornament to be. And I think at its widest point I'd like my ornament to be 7 centimeters across. So I'm going to go up to the sizing information at the top of the screen and I'm just going to go to the width box, which is this one here, and I'm going to delete the 10 and I'm going to pop in 7. And then that automatically changes the height measurement so that it's all in proportion. So the next thing we need to do, because this is going to be a hanging decoration, we want to put a hole in the top of our design. So if I just zoom in a little bit so that we can make it a little bit easier to see. So let's now get a shape from the basic shapes menu. Again, this is really expanded in the latest update. There's loads of new shapes. If you've got a subscription, you're going to love this because there's loads of new stuff there. I'm just going to select a basic circle for this one. And then I'm just going to shrink it down. Bear in mind we are cutting today using the knife blade, so we are going to not want to make the shapes too intricate. So I'm just going to pop that on there and it's roughly in the centre. Let's just get it so that it's completely centred. Alright, so that's good to me. What I'm going to do is hide the bits that I'm going to cut out in the vinyl. So let's just click on those. On the right hand side in the layers panel, these little eyes will show and hide stuff for you. You just want to be left with the basic shape of the arabesque ornament and your circle. Once you've got just 2 items on the screen, you'll be able to go up to select all at the top and then come down the bottom to slice. And now what this feature is going to do is cut out the shape of that circle that we've popped on the top of our red ornament, and you can see on the right hand side now we've got some more layer results appeared, and they are slice results. So if I move this ornament now, you can see it's got the hole through it. Then we have the original red circle, which was part of our ornament, and then the grey one that we put on top. So it's basically sliced out a piece of our ornament that we didn't want to be there. Alright, so now we can put back the two other things. You can see I've got a little dot in the top there as well, but that doesn't matter because it's just going to be vinyl, so just won't apply that one. So my plan for this project is to just cut this out with the chipboard, and then what I will do is paint my chipboard red, and then I'm going to cut out these pieces in vinyl just from my scraps box and then apply them onto this piece of chipboard. So I've already got my mat ready. So what I am going to do now is just hide those pieces again. So I've just got my chipboard on the screen. I'm happy with the size. Let's go to make it. And I've already got I'm just going to move my design over and down a little bit, just purely so that when it's cutting it does miss that masking tape, and then click on continue. What we need to do now is find the material that we're going to be using, and of course it is the heavy chipboard. So let's go into browse all materials, and then if I just go up into search all materials, and I'm just going to type in heavy, and it comes up now with all of the different materials that are considered to be heavy. So this is heavy chipboard. There it is there. It is a Cricut one. So let's select that. We get the little green tick appear, so we know that's the material we're going to use. Let's click on done. Okay, so now I'm going to get the machine ready, and then I'll show you how to load in your mat and put your knife blade in. Alright, so we are here at my machine. I'm using an original Cricut Maker today for this, and there's a couple of steps that we need to take in order to get the machine ready to cut chipboard. So on our metal roller here we've got all these star wheels, and it's important that we move these over to one side. So just push them over. They can be a little bit stiff sometimes, so just be careful, don't hurt yourself doing it. And that is basically just to stop the star wheels from making an indentation on your material, because even though it is chipboard and it's like a wood composite, it is quite soft still on the top, so the action of the roller moving backwards and forwards over it with the star wheels would create little indentations, which we don't want. So then this is the knife blade, so it's got its little protective case on it at the moment. If I take that off, you can see there now the really sharp sort of scalpel like blade that is sticking out the bottom, and this isn't a quick swap housing, this is a permanent housing, very similar to what you get with your rotary blade, so we can't put different tips onto this one. It is purely for the knife blade. Now first time using, I would recommend that you calibrate your knife blade, and what will happen there is if you've connected your Cricut to a printer, you will be able to print a page, and then you pop that onto a mat, pop it into your machine with your knife blade, and it cuts, and you say which is the best and most accurate cut that you're receiving through your machine. And I definitely recommend calibrating your machine for that. If you haven't done that before, I can show you how to do that as well. It's a really quick little video that I can put together. So let me know in the comments down below if you want some help with that. So now we're going to pop this into clamp B. So all we need to do is the same as we would if we were swapping any tool over. Just open clamp B. I always pop my tool in the top there if I'm taking one out, and then just pop your knife blade in, and it will line up the little cogs with the cogs on the back of the carrier, and then just close the snap there on clamp B to get that in place. Let's insert our mat. So we just insert it like we would any other mat really. Just click on the double-ended arrow or the insert mat arrow if you're using a newer machine. Alright, so on the screen now it does say that we are on pass 3 of 24. and it's saying between 8 and 11 minutes remaining. It is going up and down depending on how it gets on. So what I'm going to do is let it do maybe 12 passes, so half of what it says. Then I'll pause the machine, and then I'm going to see, using my weeding tool, whether it's gone through already, because it could go through everything and cut through the mat, and we don't want that to happen. So now we're on the 12th or 13th pass. I'm just going to get my weeding tool, and I'm just carefully going to lift that up. I don't want to split my wood, but you can see that is all the way through now. So I'm going to actually eject the mat and have a look at the cut, and that's halfway through the cut. So if you're happy that it's cut through, you can now eject your mat and have a look at your design. So I've got this off the machine, and I've literally just got it off and put it down exactly how it came out of the machine. So you can see the two little pieces here, and they are the centre of this ornament. So I'm just going to move them to one side, and that's a really good indicator of whether your design has cut through properly. If you've got a little small piece like this, usually it does lift out when you're cutting using the knife blade. Don't worry, it's nothing wrong, it's just the way it does it. Obviously once it's cut out, it's got nothing really to hold on to on the mat, because even though it's a strong grip mat, with a small piece like that, it's not got that much grip onto it, so the knife blade going round and round over the top of it will lift it out. So let's remove the masking tape. Oh, by the way, that took 7 minutes. So I put it on the timer on my watch, it took 7 minutes. It should have took 14 according to the machine, because I let it do about half of the passes that it wanted to do. If you're regularly cutting chipboards, you could change the passes on the material settings if you wanted to be bothered to do that. Right, so that's unstuck now. So let's just carefully lift it up. And if I turn it over, you can see it's gone through to the other side, so it's perfectly cut, and we can just pop it out. And there is our little ornament. Because this little bit is still in here, I'm just going to use a weeding tool to get rid of that. Okay, it has left a little bit of a mark on the mat there, but that's, again, is to be expected. I'm just going to get the cover for my mat and pop it back on. Oops, sorry everybody, giving you a headache now. Right, let's pop that onto there. The next step then is to get our vinyl ready to cut out to put onto our ornament. So let's go now back up to the little eyes, and we're going to unhide the two pieces that we've got. We don't need this one anymore, so let's hide that one. Let's move this one over a little bit. So again, this is the right size and everything for this particular piece of wood that we've just cut out. So I'm going to just go up to make it again. And then we've got two mats, which is as expected. So let's now go to continue. And I'm just going to choose my base material as premium outdoor vinyl. I always like this particular setting. Okay, so that's cut now, and I've cut in both corners at the same time. So all I need to do really is get rid of the excess vinyl from around my design. So I'm just going to carefully use a craft knife to just cut around my design. And then I'll do the same with this side as well. So let's weed on the mat. I'm using my pin pen today. Again, this is my favourite weeding tool for intricate designs like these. So let's just get one corner up. Just going to peel it back. There's one done. Just flip my mat around and do this design now on this side. paint's dried on the ornament, I'm just going to give it a coating of Mod Podge now. So we have got our contact paper, transfer tape, whatever you want to call it, squeegee. So let's just get this off. Okay, so I'm going to layer it onto this piece, I think. So I'm just going to pop my piece of transfer tape down over my design. I'm going to give it a little press down. Make sure everything is nicely burnished onto there. And then I'm going to give it a turn over and do the same again. Just really helps with making it easy to work with. Then I'm going to flip it back over and I'm going to remove the backing paper. It should be relatively easy to do. Okay, there it is. Now we can just line up, looking again at our computer screen, where this is going to go. I'm just going to pop a little bit of masking tape down just to hold it down onto my cutting mat, because it's lifting up every time I go near it with static electricity. So let's look at how it goes. So it goes with the wheels in these circles. And the tree is in the back of the van. Just there. I wasn't happy with the placement of that, so I've just lifted it back up. I want to get my tree so it's literally touching the back of my truck, because I don't want any gaps. That's better. I'm happy with that. Let's move those bits. So that's how I want it to be. You can't really see the truck, can you? Let's put that on there now, just to make sure that it's not going to get those little bits of snow stuck to anything whilst we're waiting for our little ornament to dry. The Mod Podge is dry now. Right, I've got my design now, so we're ready to pop this onto here. So let's just get this off of the backing papers again. Okay, came off nice and easy, and I've obviously got this piece that isn't on transfer tape, so that's fine. We want to line this up entirely with the bottom of the ornament, so just do it really, really carefully. Give it a nice press down with your fingers. Burnish with a scraper. Just going to actually concentrate on each of those little pieces. Just give it a good burnish down individually. And the wheels there. And then I'm just going to fold this back again flat against my design and just peel it back carefully. Okay, so there is the finished article. Let's just grab a little bit of cord. Cut a piece of that off. This is from Hobbycraft, this cord. It's really nice. They do it in quite a few colours, and when I bought it, it was on 3 for 2, so you may still be able to get that. I will link all of the materials and everything that I've used down below for you, so you can pick them up the same as I did. So there we go, with a nice bit of cord. It looks so cute, and it's going to look fab on the Christmas tree. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, I'd love it if you would hit the like button down below. It really helps the channel out, and maybe consider subscribing so that you don't miss out on any future videos that you might also enjoy. Obviously now December is well and truly underway, so we've got lots of Christmas content coming up in the next few weeks for you. So I hope that you will come back, and I'll see you again soon. So all that's left to be said now is have a great week, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Bye.